Morning, my name's Liz Hill. I work for Sheffield Parent Hub. I just want to talk for a few minutes today about those of you that are maybe at home at the minute with teenagers. Teenagers are fantastic people, but they can also be really challenging at times as well. So what I want you to have a think about, maybe over the next week, is setting a good example for our teenagers. It's really hard at the minute. I was a teenager in 1980s and I found it really, really challenging. But to be a teenager now, they've got so much more to think about. All the Instagrams, all the Facebook stuff, all of that, plus all their exams and everything else. There's a lot going on for them, a lot of pressure. So how can we help them as parents, particularly at the minute, if you're at home and we're all isolating? What can we do as parents to help our teenagers through this? The first thing that springs to mind for me is us as parents setting a good example. So how do we do that? What does that really mean? Well, I just want to think really about over the next week, what could you do? Do you smile at them first thing in the morning? Do you praise them for the things that they have done well? So that might sound really, really simple stuff, but as a mum myself with 3 teenage lads in the house, I know it can be really hard. You go upstairs to the bedroom, there's a mountain of stuff on the floor, there's a load of plates on the side, they haven't opened the curtains for days. It can feel really frustrating. So how do you set a good example in that? What have they done well? The fact that they might have put a towel in the wash basket, can you praise them for that? So trying to pick up on the stuff that they have done well, rather than all the things that you worry about and that frustrates you. What is your face doing? Are you constantly in a bit of a grump with them? Do you look at them with disdain because they haven't put their plate in the dishwasher or they didn't feed the guinea pig that morning? Do you smile at them? What's your voice tone doing? So just over the next week, have a think about what's going on. How are you talking to your neighbours? How do you talk to people on the phone when you can't get your bills paid or you can't sort things out? Do your teenagers hear you? Have a think over the next week. How can you set a good example as a parent? But setting a good example takes energy and it takes thought. So how do we look after ourselves while doing that? Because we've got a lot going on as well at the minute. So what are you thinking to yourself in your head? So if you walk into that bedroom and there's a load of stuff on the floor and a load of plates all over the place and you're trying really hard to think about what have they done well. They did put that towel in the basket, didn't they? What's going off in your head? If you walk in and you go, oh, look at the state of this bedroom again. Oh, I can't do this anymore. I'm sick of it. Can you think to yourself, we can do it today. I'm doing a good job today. I'm all right. I'm going to take a deep breath. I'm going to smile. So be really careful about what you're thinking to yourself in your own mind as well, because that can have a massive impact on what our faces do as we greet our teenagers. So within that, it's not only about the way that we think about things, but it's how do you look after yourself at this time as well. So if you're trying your best to set a good example, to think about how your teenagers, what they're doing well in the houses, what can you be doing to look after yourself at this time as well? Do you need to go and sit on your back step for a couple of minutes, take a bit of a deep breath, watch the birds flying by? Can you make yourself a nice cup of tea, read a magazine, have a bit of time out? So setting a good example is really important. Our teenagers are watching us all the time. They're listening to what we say. They're thinking about what we're doing around the house. Helping your teenager to be the best person that they can be starts with us as parents, but that also starts with looking after ourselves as parents as well. Wishing you a really good week in lockdown. Look after yourselves.